Week 3 is finished after last night's doubleheader. Let's go through some just injury news, and then we can get going on our recap. So with obviously last night's games, we learned some things that Jaden Daniels is pretty legit. Also, the Bengals suck. You can start any wide receiver 1 confidently against the Commanders. Jamar Chase, another one of those receivers with a huge week against that Commanders defense, which is notoriously bad going into last year. Against wide receiver 1s and elite wide receiver 2s as well. The Bills absolutely demolished the Jaguars, who are also 0-3. Trevor Lawrence is a fraud. Be tough to trust anyone on that offense. Christian Kirk does get 10 targets, but I mean, you see 46 pass attempts. Christian Kirk sees 10 targets. Brian Thomas sees 9. Injury wise, let's see. Also, one thing to make headlines, like Chase Brown was leading rusher last night. Let's actually look at snap counts. Did they update any of these snap counts? I just use this first one that I see. Football guys. They did update the snap counts. So Chase Brown only saw 24% of the snaps compared to Zach Moss 76. But they did see similar work, I want to say. I mean, Zach Moss saw 6 targets to Chase Brown's 3. Zach Moss saw 12 carries to Chase Brown's 7. So not necessarily the same usage. Chase Brown was efficient, 8.9 average. Doesn't matter though, they're trailing. So probably when he was in with like 2-minute drills or third downs, they're not stacking the box. So again, those change of pace backs, their rush yard average is always a little higher just because they're in scenarios where you're probably not running the ball as much. It's easier to get through holes, create holes. Zach Moss is still just the alpha running back here. He does get a touchdown last night with 5 receptions for 39 yards. He actually has a really good day. T. Higgins sees 90% of the snaps in his first game back, with Yoshi Voss taking 77% and Jamar chasing 98. So that's your 3 wide receiver sets right there. Yoshi in the slot, Chase and Higgins outside. Burton and Charlie Jones barely get in. I think Trent Irwin was a healthy scratch last night. If we take a look at snap counts for Jacksonville, Dearness Johnson actually outsnaps Tank Bigsby. Obviously, Tank Bigsby was dealing with the shoulder injury from last week. It was a blowout game, so nothing there. ETN's still going to see majority of the work. Gabe Davis actually goes down in snap usage from 94 and 95% to 76. Christian Kirk and Brian Thomas see like similar usage as before. Parker Washington sees an uptick to 31, maybe because it was a blowout. Not much news there. Bills wise, can't really go off anything. I mean, Matt Collins and MVS see the highest snap counts. Obviously, Matt Collins is a blocker in that scheme, and Shakir actually only sees 55%. Keon Coleman sat the first quarter apparently because of him being tardy to meetings or whatever it may be. So he did catch a touchdown, but that was it. Curtis Samuel still exact same percentage of snaps, 27% the last 3 weeks. Disappointing there. Not sure what that usage is. Kincaid and Knox still 50-50 split on snaps. Again, kind of a blowout in that game. And then if we head over to the Commanders, I want to say Eckler got hurt last night. Yeah, he got a concussion last night. So it'd be hard to see what the snap counts were. Brian Thomas had a good night. Okay, but injury-wise, other than that, I did see that Tank Dell's dealing with like backs. I want to say back soreness. Obviously, if Trey McBride dealing with the concussion from that hit by, well, actually, he initiated the hit to Brian Branch. Pretty gruesome, ugly hit. I'm not seeing any other injury news. I guess the big injury news that sticks out is that CMC was seen going to Germany, and it's confirmed he's going to Germany to look at getting obviously more tests done on his Achilles tendonitis, but then looking to probably get PRP injections over there. Their laws and regulations are a little different medically. He could probably get better care for it. I did see something on Twitter that he would be like looking at a return after the bye if everything went well, which they have a week 9 bye, so week 10. So until we get more confirmation and news on that, I mean, Jordan Mason's still going to be a lock if we want to look at the snap count for the Niners. Jordan Mason sees 75% of the snaps. Cal Juszczyk 62%, a little uptick there. But those are the two backs we should expect to see. Let me see if I can find any other news here. See if we have an update on Mixon. No update on Joe Mixon. Herbert obviously goes out with a re-aggravation, I think. Sam Laporta dealing with a low ankle sprain. Adam Thielen dealing with hamstring. So Deontay gets more of an uptick than he already had after 14 targets. Jaylen Warren dealing with a knee injury, getting an MRI. See what Njoku's status is later in the week. Amari Cooper dealing with unknown injury right now. Devonta Smith, obviously ugly hit, illegal hit. Probably concussion, maybe neck injury. Hopefully nothing horrible. Najee dealing with a right arm elbow injury, seen with a sling. See if Mostert comes back. Purdy, I did see, was dealing with back soreness as well. We'll see what the status of AJ Brown is this upcoming week. They play, I don't know what time they play. Let me look. The Eagles play Sunday at 1, so be interesting to see that. I need him healthy on my team. I'm sure a lot of you need him healthy on your team. Kittle. Shanahan said Monday, Niners are hopeful Kittle with hamstring returns to practice. If Evan Ingram returns this next week coming up. And then Kenneth Walker. The coach said that he was optimistic, but I never take coach's word on injuries. So still a lot of stars out. Let's go take a look at our best ball teams. All right. So potentially winning $114. I say it every week. That doesn't matter. It's only week 3 anyway, and the money isn't earned yet. It's earned in weeks 15 through 17, especially in these tournament style drafts. Now, some of the sit and goes, which I've done a few sit and goes, I have 6 of those. It's a little skewed. We have $40 in winnings there, so that's realistically only 74. But let's take a look at none of the puppies on Superflex. 9th and 12th, looking ugly on the Superflex teams. 11th. Pre-draft best ball. Pre-draft best ball looking killer right now, actually. Let's take a look at this third place team. I think top 4 in the leaderboard to advance. Yes. We're in third place. Not by much, though. I think we looked at this team every week so far. But it's Lamar, Baker, Minshew. Looking good here with Lamar and Baker. Minshew just helps that he's starting. Obviously, a huge week from Derrick Henry with the Kenneth Walker back. Promising week from Jerome Ford again compared to last week with getting out snapped by Deontay Foreman. He's back in the works for the majority of the carries and whatnot in Cleveland. Could get a bump from Khalil Herbert with DeAndre Swift sucking. The rest, Tyler Algier need the injury to Bijan, but our top 3 backs are solid. Need Kenneth Walker to be healthy. Could have some life from Keaton Mitchell late in the year. Kenneth Gainwell's probably going to be null, but JJ Harrison, Mike Williams showing some life in the Jets. Jacoby Myers has a good week. So, decent receiving core. Obviously, our top 2 guys are solid with Jefferson and Harrison. Andrews and Bowers. Bully tight end. Horrible build. Andrews. Well, let's look at his snaps there. It was bad. 33% of the snaps. Very ugly. Likely kept his share of snaps. Kolar actually had an uptick in snaps. So this team, I don't know. I'm not liking it that much. But now, here we go. We got 3 teams advancing out of 4 in the little board. Let's look at the first place team. 444 points so far. Next closest is 382. We popped up 156 this week. What do we do in week 1? 148 in week 1. 139 in week 2. And then obviously 156 in week 3. So killer week. This is another Lamar team. He'd love to come back. Pickett, obviously null and void, but we don't need him. Brees Stevenson, Singletary, Moss. Moss, big day. Singletary, big day. Stevenson, no, but Brees also a big week. Debo's injured. Devontae did not have a great day. Jaden Reed did not have a great day, but Deontay, big day. Shaheed drops a goose. I don't think Worthy did anything. Juwan Jennings obviously carries this week with all those 41 points coming this week. Same with Deontay, 22. So we get solid 60 something from our receivers alone. Let's see who they were. Plus Bateman's 10. No Kittle, but Freiermuth there. 1 sec, chat. We look at the next little board here. I'm in second place, only by a couple points. Again, super early. There's 11 weeks left until playoffs. But AR, Cousins, and Penix. Cousins looking promising. AR not looking so much. Very boomer busty. And by busty, I mean you're talking like 5 points to like 30 points. A big range of outcomes for him every week. Running backs. Super solid room. Moss has a good day. JT has a good day. Gibbs has a good day. Pollard and Dobbins weaker days, but that's all right because we get carried with a running back room, 5 viable guys. Neighbors huge day. Cup out probably still for a couple more weeks, but not going on IR, probably because they already have a lot of guys on IR that are slated to come back later in the year. I think the max is 8 that can be on IR that can come back, and they have like 6 or 7 already, so they don't want to put Cup there to waste a spot. Pickens, Goose, Yoshi Voss catches another touchdown. The rest of these guys, Josh Downs is back. Franklin doesn't do much. Zay Jones still suspended, and Corley getting outworked from Lazard still. Need Njoku to come back for this team. Otherwise, we're just banking on K-Dot and really Brevin Jordan. I don't know Brevin Jordan's snaps. Let's actually take a look. He played 0% of the snaps last week, so I'm not sure if he was injured or not. Anyway, let's look at the other little board team. Second place, again, not by much. Also, not in second place by much, only by 0.42. Kyler, Russ, Trevor team. Trevor sucks. Kyler, GOAT. Pacheco's injured on this team, but Kamara need Chubb to come back. We got Ford in the meantime. Dobbins, Dowdle, Hill. Still solid running back room even without Pacheco. We could get him back for the playoffs though. If we could sneak this team through, that'd be huge. Chase and Rice have huge games. Pittman and Downs, meh. Really, this team's gonna get carried by these two guys here, Chase and Rice. And then hopefully spike weeks from some of these guys. Really need Zay Jones to come back. Don't even know if he would play though when he gets back. Kelsey, just tight ends in general, just very sad this year. All right. So advancing 4 out of 7 entries on these little boards. That's nice to see. And if you don't know, advance rates are typically, it's a little different with the little board since I think 4 teams advance in these. Like, let's look. Yeah, so 4 teams advance to the next round in this. So 4 out of 12, which would make that 33% of teams move on. But if we're advancing 4 out of 7, it's 57% of our teams. Pretty good. Now, if we're looking at our tournament styles, 41 entries, we're advancing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 out of 41. The normal advance rate with these ones is typically 2 out of 12, or like 16.6%. What did I say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 out of 41 advancing to 29%. Take a look. The Hound Dog in first place by a couple points. Bryce Young gets benched on this team. Need Love to come back with Geno Smith. I think they have different bye weeks, right? Nope, they have the same bye. So Bryce Young being benched is horrible for us. I think the whole reason I had to pick up Bryce Young anyway was because of the 2 week 10 buys. Maybe we can skate by if it's a low scoring QB week that week, but we'll see. Barkley, Jacob, another good running back room. At least the top 3 with Montgomery, Jacobs, Barkley. Need Mostert to come back. McLaughlin losing snaps every week. Honestly, that running back room's a mess in Denver. Tyreek's shot without Tua. Jaden Reed needs Jordan Love. Ridley is a super boomer bust. Myers has a good week. Adonai Mitchell losing time now that Josh Downs is back. Mooney's been having good weeks. Boyd just really not going to get much going with Will Levis being horrible. But Boyd is averaging, 14 targets in 3 games? Around 5 targets a game. Less. And Odell, it's on the pup list, so. Tight ends, Laporta. Freiermuth, Laporta dealing with that ankle injury. Let's check out our puppies. So, again, crushing it in the fast puppies. Couple first place, couple second place. Hurts Williams team. Caleb Williams finally has a big day. Jalen Hurts struggles, but does throw for a lot of yards. Strong running back room for the sake that Zach Charbonnet has been starting. Otherwise, it was a weak running back room because we'd only had Brees and Kamara. The whole logic behind that when I drafted this team. Now, week 12 is going to suck because they're both on it and they're my starting guys. But the whole thesis and logic was that Nick Chubb would be back by the time his bye was over and could carry some of this work. But with the way the Browns are looking, I don't know. Not promising for Nick Chubb. Debo hurt. DJ Moore, Keenan Allen stack with Caleb. Rashi carrying this team. Wando has a decent week. Claypool not on a team. One of my most drafted guys, Curtis Samuel, kind of just meh. Sad. Cole Kmet has a big week. Would like to see Ben Sinnott actually move up in this offense finally, but seems to be Zach Ertz's role. We could actually look at those snaps here. Yeah, if we're looking at the Commanders snap counts, Sinnott does actually increase the snap count to 44%, up from 22 and 18. So that's promising, but I mean, it's kind of just a split between all three. Other property team were in first place, 398 points, 394, I mean. Lamar Stafford build. Stafford really needs his receivers to come back, man. As you'll see, the theme is like majority of these teams that are advancing are going to be good, solid running back builds or hits at running back and not necessarily receiver, just with this year being so down. But yeah, Montgomery, Kamara, Moss, Javonte, Foreman with Jefferson, Evans. Need Kupp to be healthy. Higgins, Palmer. I mean, the receiving room is nice in terms of top four, but Higgins has been out. Kupp's been out. Evans gets locked down by a Surtain. Robinson's not going to really produce on his own. He needs Kupp or Puka there to support him. Jerry Judy's been doing all right. And then likely Frymouth Johnson. I like the tight end room here. Receiver room needs to get healthy. This next team in second place, another Jordan Love team that just needs to be healthy. But the quarterbacks here I really love, especially with Derek Carr hitting early. Rodgers hitting this last week, supporting Jordan Love there. So good late round quarterback draft. That way I get good running back values. Kamara, Pacheco, Bijan. Unfortunately, Pacheco's out again. If he can come back for fantasy football playoffs, that'll be huge. This team would be stacked. But Gus Edwards looking inefficient and losing snaps to JK. Roshan coming on though. Could be a potential good pick here if he takes over bulk of the work. He is the better passing down back in Chicago. He's the biggest back. Just a better overall player, I think. So, should see a role, but that line is really bad. Olave big week. Devonta Smith to be determined with concussion. Keenan missed with that heel injury. Some concern there with a heel injury that he had that kept him out all of 2 years ago, I think, or a couple years ago. Christian Watson again needs Jordan Love. Shaheed just a down week, drops a touchdown, 40-yard touchdown. Kind of dropped, kind of got well defended. It was an underthrown ball from Derek Carr, so he could have ended up having 11, 12 points, but doesn't. Komet huge week. Fant, Johnny Smith. Another Lamar team. Herbert injured. The Chargers team's looking just rough in general. They lose 2 offensive linemen, including Joe Alt. I think it was the other one, Rashawn Slater. No Josh Palmer, he's been injured. Now Herbert, it's just tough scene over in LA. Henry Jacobs Eckler concussion protocol, but does get a touchdown last night. Chuba, huge week. CH, possibly coming back. If you watch the Sunday night game, the announcers were saying that possibly CH may come back. He's on IR for non-football illness, PTSD and stuff. Been through some crazy things. Receiver room, JJ Adams, Worthy, McConkey, Sutton, Cooks, Bateman, Rice. Decent boom busty receiver room for best ball. The way it's panning out this year. Sutton getting a ton of looks still. Finally, positively regressed in all of those targets that he's been consuming. Yeah. Bowers, Hawkinson, Smith. Hopefully when Hawkinson comes back, hopefully it's after the bye. Like they say, that he'll be getting some work from Sam Darnold, who looks really good. Okay, and this last first place team, Hurts Knicks team. Knicks does it for us this past week, actually, right? Yeah. outscores Jalen Hurts by 8 points. James Cook, another big week. Rashad White losing work to Bucky Irving. Estime on IR. Dowdle starting to outsnap the other two, Deuce Vaughn and Zeke. Charbonnet obviously playing in place of Kenneth Walker. AJ Brown needs to get healthy. Good build with Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs. They've seen a ton of targets through 3 weeks. Keon Coleman, boom bust. It's going to need touchdowns. Like that receiver room, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, definitely 5 good receivers there. Mims Burden really not going to do much, at least at the beginning of this year. Goddard, huge game. Henry, Conklin. Love that tight end room. Late round tight ends. All right. That's my puppies. I'm crushing the fast puppies. Puppy 3, I got 2 advancing out of 10. Not the best rate. We do have a team in 4th, a team in 3rd, and 2 teams in 3rd, actually. 431 here and 371. 431. This team's Jaden Daniels, Matt Stafford, Derek Carr. What a team. Again, super late round quarterbacks. Love it. I don't think I was super high on elite quarterback. I did a lot of teams with 3 quarterback builds. Or I would do a lot of like Matt Stafford 2 quarterback builds with him as my second. Hopefully that plays out. I mean, obviously need Kupp and Puka healthy. Running back room, super strong right now with Bijan and HM. Then Charbonnet obviously getting work in Dobbins. Metcalf finally showing out this year. McLaurin has a big night last night. Deontay with Andy Dalton. JSN having kind of more of a breakout year. Myers, good breakout game. This is a solid receiver room in my opinion. Super sturdy. They're going to get the targets, the volume, and then you get the boom bust guys at the bottom with Kincaid and Bowers. Kincaid finally gets home. Bowers has been pretty consistent outside of last week. This other first place team, Kyler Stroud. Stroud struggles a little bit past week. The running back room, suspect. Very suspect. It's tough with Dameon Pierce injured. Jalen Wright just not seeing the field with all the running backs in Miami, even with Raheem Mostert out. Super inefficient running game over there. Trey Benson not going to see work without a James Conner injury. Chase, huge night. Collins, Neighbors. This is a solid 3 receivers here with Mooney, Tolbert, Yoshivas. Curtis Samuel's kind of meh. Strong tight end room. Fam McBride, Jelani Woods out for the year. Those are my 2 advancing puppies. Let's take a look at the puppy 2. We have 1 team in 1st, a team in 4th too. What's our score there? 340. This team in 1st here. Josh Allen, Geno Smith, no JJ. Geno Smith 10. I only took JJ because this was a Addison build, but just decided to do it. Another solid running back room. Zeke is losing work and Javante's losing work, but Gibbs, Cook, Dobbins, London, Higgins, Addison, Williams, Heed, Roman Wilson was a healthy scratch. Don't know why. Need him to start playing. Thielen going to be out for the foreseeable future. Darius Slayton not doing much this year with Neighbors existing. Ferguson has a good week. Schultz, don't think he had a good week this week. I think it was last week. Right? Yeah, it was week 2. No. Maybe Dalton Schultz hasn't had a good week yet. I lied. Decent team. There's a reason that team's in 1st place. Couple more teams here. We got the German Shepherd winning 2nd place in one of these. 386, just behind by 1 point. Cousins, Jones, Brissett, Daniel Jones looking good. Neighbors really carrying this offense. With Bijan. This is this Kirk Bijan London stack, huh? And Kyle Pitts. So we do the mega stack here. Not really big for Kyle Pitts, but Bijan and Drake London looking promising. Kirk getting better every week. Kamara, Ramondre, Brian Robinson Jr. Solid 4 right there. Hopefully some boom weeks from McLaughlin. Denver offense looked viable this past week, taking down a good Bucs team. London, Metcalf, Cooper huge week. Need Keenan Allen to be healthy. Shakir with a big night last night, looking like the go-to guy. for Josh Allen. Just like a safety blanket, really. The shallow crossers, things like that. The underneath guy for Josh Allen, really. Kyle Pitts, Hunter Henry at tight end. So dual tight end build here. I like that team. Okay, last tournament team. Last two, actually, is the Mini Schnauzer 6. So this one's in first with 400 points. Hurts Mayfield team. Zamir White, ugly pick on this team. Running backs really weak. Marshawn Lloyd on IR. Pierce still looking to get healthy from, I think, a hamstring injury. Needs Zeke to maintain his role in Dallas for this team to be viable, or Zamir White to start getting goal line carries outside of Alexander Madison. But receivers, super solid, should carry this team if AJ Brown comes back. That's like the problem right now in a lot of my teams, because AJ Brown's one of my most drafted players, at least wide receiver wise. But I need him to come back. But Olave, Evans, Godwin, that Tampa Bay stack's really crushing it. Pop Douglas, good week, doesn't even get on the board though. Mooney. So solid receiver room if AJ Brown's healthy. And then again, Goddard, Ferguson, solid tight end room. I think I built this team around week. This was a team that I built around the playoffs firmly. So I really like that team if it can advance, because we have a lot of week 15, 16, 17 correlation there. And if we're looking at this team, Dan's kind of first crushing it right now. He just put up 184 this past week. Crazy. Who's on his team? More Kyron. 4 RB build. I mean, that's sturdy with Lamb. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty solid team. Doesn't even get any tight end work this past week and still putting up 184. Our team, Kyler, Danny Dimes, Sam Darnold. Great Sam Darnold pick with JJ. Daniel Jones pick was just a one-off pick. I did put Tyrone Tracy on there, but I was taking a lot of Daniel Jones at the end of the best ball season, just for like, he's one of the like not lowest drafted, but in terms of ADP, he was in the 190s, I want to say, when I was getting him. Let's see what I drafted him at, actually. Pick 185, yeah. So 180s, 190s, and you could get a rushing upside quarterback there where none of those other quarterbacks really had that. It was like Derek Carr, Sam Darnold, JJ McCarthy, Gardner Minshew, guys like that way down there. So to get a guy like Daniel Jones who can actually run the ball, I'll take him as a one-off guy. Kyler build. Running back room, again, being carried with that Kenneth Walker injury with Charbonnet. And then he got Dobbins. Otherwise, this running back room is going to need an injury to somebody, whether it's James Conner, Zach Moss, or Devin Singletary. Jalen Waddle is going to pull this team down with no Tua, but need Keenan Allen to be back. D-Hop big week. Greggy Dortch putting in work. Yeah. Solid. Decent team. So that's all my tournament teams. Again, we're advancing a decent amount. 29%, I think, right? 12 out of 41. Advancing at a decent rate. Way over, 13% over expected. Probably not going to hold. Our marathon teams are not doing well at all. We have 320 points. I mean, yeah, we don't have Tua anymore. And Herbert's hurt. So that team's pretty much shit show. And then this other team. Why? This does this all the time. I can't even look at the team I want to look at. Yeah, okay, so it's not even going to let me look at my other team again. If we look at these sit and goes, I'm in first place here. This is my... I figured this one would win as soon as I drafted it with Mahomes, Lamar, Achane, Singletary, Chuba, Chandler, Algier, Hill, Chase, Rice, Ridley, Watson, Sutton, Bowers. Like, yeah, this team's stacked. And then this other team, 406 points. AR, Watson, Geno, Jacobs, Jones, Harris, Chuba, ARSB, London, Neighbors, Reed. Yeah, this team also very stacked. Even when Njoku comes back. Other teams are looking poo. This guy's 452 points. That's crazy. What did I draft in this? Why is this one so bad? Oh. That's why. No AJ Brown, Jalen Waddle crushed. Yeah, I think it's bad. Solid there. Weekly winners teams are also just down bad. A lot of injuries. I have 2 McCaffrey teams. I have a Puka team. I have a McCaffrey Pacheco team. I have AJ Brown on this team. Njoku's out. I had Evan Ingram on. Look at this team. Addison, Puka, Zay Jones, Kendrick Bourne, Pacheco, Kenneth Walker. Like, it's been a rough go on my weekly winners. Malik Washington, Hollywood, Evan Ingram, AJ Brown, Njoku, Elijah Mitchell, Marshawn Lloyd, Christian McCaffrey, DJ Chark, Zay Jones, Josh Palmer, Jordan Addison, George Kittle. And then this team, Joe Mixon was hurt this week, with Evan Ingram hurt this week as well. It's like my only relatively healthy team. So, stupid, whatever. Those are my teams this week. Again, a nice projected advance rate through week 3. We'll continue to update through the week. Appreciate you guys for watching. If you haven't already, hit the like, hit the subscribe. If you're watching now, if you're watching after, I appreciate you guys, the support. Let me know what you think of the teams. Also, if you haven't drafted an Underdog and you want to make an account, sign up. You'll get 50% deposit bonus, I think up to $1,000 right now. So hit the link in my description, code Temptation to sign up. You'll get that. You'll get your own personal code to hand out to friends and family to also get some rewards yourself. And if you are in a state to do pick'ems, which is just kind of like picking like higher lowers on things, then you can also do that. And you'll get bonus offers for these. And you can get vulture protections, all sorts of different things every day of the week. So if you want to do that, like I said, link in description.